going on. We're just going to wait for a few people to join us. Guys, I know that we had questions on Wednesday. If you guys are just joining us, if there's any questions that come up, there's a question button in the bottom. There's a little round question symbol. Put your questions in there so that we can all see the questions at the beginning and we can answer those if you guys have any. So, hey everyone from the AltoCredit community, from our Instagram community. My name is Erica Stevens. I am one of the founders of AltoCredit as well as one of the credit advisors. And I have my lovely guest here.
An awesome guest. My name is Amus Stevens. I'm one of the owners of AltoCredit. I am also an advisor. So a lot of times you guys may have spoken to me. This is a great way to put a voice to the face. So put a face to the voice.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get started. We are your hosts for today. This is an exciting topic. So the topic for today is budgeting. So let's have that conversation. Before we get started, this is a conversation. I want to hear feedback from you guys. So if you guys are tuning in, please drop where you're tuning in from and make sure that you're interacting with us so that we keep us excited if you interact with us. So let us know where you're calling from. Are you guys on lunch right now? I know it's 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock somewhere. It is Friday. So let's get started. So budgeting is one of those things that I find that with our clients, they tend to struggle. They tend to struggle because there's a difference between paying your bills on time and having a set bill amount for those bills. Mm-hmm. And then there's the budgeting aspect of it, right? So you can look at budgeting from two ways, right? It could be whether it's your bills, what you have for your reoccurring set bills, and then it goes on to your everyday purchases, right? Are you having a strategy for those everyday purchases? A lot of clients don't, right? That's where the money goes, right? Who's been out on a weekend recently and is like, when you're done with your weekend, you're like,
where did my money go?
Where did my money go? Did I spend more than what I needed?
Yeah, woke up nervous.
So that's such a bad feeling, right? Then there's also the part that we're setting goals, right? So for my clients that maybe they're fixing their credit, Amus and I work with people that are trying to buy new homes, build their businesses. So there's tons of those things, right? We want to make sure that we're giving you the tools to be effective in that, right? If you have a goal, how are you planning for that goal, right? It's not just, hey, I put money aside every month, right? And hope for the best, right? There has to be an actual plan in place. And I don't know, Amus, what do you think? What are some struggles that you find with our clients that they tend to have?
I think the main thing that I really see is that you said not having a plan, right? Or a strict budget. Because what happens is, especially nowadays, we talk about inflation. Well, inflation is like 20%, all right? I don't have any bill, right? I have a landscaper. My landscaping bill was $80. I pay $120 now for one part of the yard. So you can see that is not 8% interest. That's inflation is 20-something percent. Milk, water, right? Electricity, everything that you have has gone up. And if you look at the buying power that we had previously with every dollar that we had, if every part of our life is going up between gas, car insurance, interest rates on our car loan, interest rates on our mortgage, interest rates on our credit cards, interest rates on our loans, you're eroding your buying power through every piece of your life, right? So although we understand, great, something went up a few dollars, guess what? That went up a few dollars. You also got to think about your car, your gas, your snacks, your food, groceries, right? Groceries are just something that they make up these fictitious numbers and now we're responsible to pay for it. But you have to pay that money, right? And it's such an expired expense that by the time your money goes out of your account, that's it. Then you still have your recurring bills, right? Like we talk about all the time, monthly recurring expenses. Those are huge. If you don't budget for what you have to expend now and what you have to spend on a monthly basis, what's going to happen is something is going to suffer and you have to eat, right? You're probably not going to suffer on eating. You're going to eat. right? You have to get to work. You're not going to suffer on gas. You got to get to work. But where you are going to suffer is being able to pay your credit card, pay your student loans. Those are coming due, right? Pay your mortgage or pay anything else that you have. So because you're burning the candle on both ends, right? You're losing on the front end with the stuff you have to spend to live just to survive, and you're losing on your monthly recurring expenses. So you're burning the candle on both ends, and something that's not changing is your income. That stays the same, right? So we're in a position where if we don't strategize on saving money, on understanding that, you know what, if I go out, maybe I'm not going to spend this amount of money, or I'm gonna cap myself at $100 for the day, right? Then if you don't have that budget, you'll be $200 in, right? And now that minimum payment on the credit card is going to suffer. Well, you make one payment on a credit card. All your credit cards, when they do their promotional checks or when they do their financial checks on you to see if you are going through a financial hardship, they can shut down your credit lines because of that late payment. And sometimes we forget that the credit card companies have disclaimers that say they are super at will, right? They don't have to explain to you why they feel they have to protect themselves as a company because you've maxed out all your credit cards and now you're late on your first debt. They see that. They can shut down all your credit lines, right? And now you don't have that emergency cash anymore, right? Risk is a real thing, right? We've seen it where clients have really high balances, right? They're struggling to pay down their debt. They're just hitting the minimum payment. And that
it's so fortunate. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's unfortunate because I think overall as people, we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, right? So I'm guilty of going to Target and not being able. I'm just looking at it. Where did I spend $200? Where did I spend $200?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it catches all of us, right? Remember, you gotta think about this concept that I break down with time. It's us against the corporation. The corporation sits down in these meeting rooms, closed door meeting rooms, and they find out, how can I get more money from the consumers? So they're finding out how to get into your pockets. They're using AI, artificial intelligence. They're using spending habits. They're using targeting. They're using your I don't know. They're using stuff, right? There'll be situations where worker would search something online and it comes on my feed.
Oh, this is true, guys. Right? I remember when me and Amos, right before Amos was gonna propose to me, I kept getting hit with rings. So I figured something was happening because I kept getting advertised for rings, which is crazy. But guys, really quick, because again, we want to hear from you guys. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges you guys are having with your budgeting. We want to make sure that we cover that. It's important that we address what your situations are. Here at AltoCredit, Amos and myself, as well as the team, we are big on making sure that we personalize and detail things to what works for you. Mm-hmm. We don't believe that everything works for everyone. There's a lot of methods out there. We're going to go over the top 4 that I found that are the best for my clients. And we've done some of these conversations in client coaching calls, and we've done these conversations with some networking events that we've attended. But we want to go deeper into it. So what are some of the situations you guys are facing right now? Does waking up cost $200 nowadays, y'all? This is a fact. Waking up nowadays just costs so much money, and it's so true. You walk out of your house, and listen, I work from home, right? I don't understand how I'm spending money.
You want to know how? Look,
I'm just like, how is this possible, right? I can't leave this house. I'm scared. I'd be scared. People be like, everybody here knows, hopefully, that I live in Jersey, Central Jersey. When I go to New York, I am terrified. Like, I'm gonna be having my pockets ready. Tell us, what are some of the things that you're struggling with your budget, whether it's organization, whether you haven't found the method that works for you. What are some of those things? Drop it on the comments. We want to hear from you guys. Super important. So I want to talk a little bit about the methods. We want to make sure we're good with time. One of the big ones that I see very common, and you guys may have already heard it. And again, I want to make sure that we're going over it. I'm going to go through these, which is the 5-20-30 budget. The 5-20-30 budget is 50% of your net incomes to your needs, 20% to your savings, and 30% to your wants. Okay, that is like a recommended guideline. There's tons of worksheets out there that are free. Wallet has one people can utilize. It's the 5-20-30 method. So it's kind of what's essential and what your wants are. So it's kind of making you think, what is it, the things that I need? What are the things that I want? And how much am I saving for the future? Okay. There's a method some people use. It's, so again, 50% for your income to your needs, 20% to your savings, 30% to your wants. Okay. Again, there's tons of free sheets out there. You don't have to buy, you can even do it on a Google sheet. Always write down what are some of the things that you need and some of the things that you want. Like, I'm not a big believer in like you shouldn't have a cup of coffee, hence my cup of coffee, right? Like, I don't believe that. I think we all work really hard. We have to have some type of sanity. That's just me. Now, there are some people that like follow, like, for instance, like Dave Ramsey, and they believe that like you can't spend $1. If that works for you, then by all means go for it. It doesn't work for me personally. I'm here for the long haul. My goals are going to take more than a year or two. So sometimes that cup of coffee makes me sane. Okay. Just being very transparent with you guys. How to prevent myself from spending too much money on clothes and makeup. Girl, that's everybody's problem. The other thing that's very popular right now is the zero-based budget method. Very popular. People, the whole point of it is being very specific with your expenses and writing it all down, right? So again, it's about writing it all down and getting to zero. So you're accounting for everything. You're accounting for the cup of coffee. You're accounting for the expenses. You're accounting for the ride to work. You're accounting for that weekend getaway. You have a budget set aside for it. Getting to zero every single month. And that's including in your savings. All right?
Another one, which is my favorite, paying yourself first. I believe truly, in fact, I don't spend $5 bills. All right? I don't spend $5 bills. And I save all my change. Actually, I give all my change to my daughter. And that goes to her piggy bank. And she, at the end of the year, she has hundreds of dollars that go to her investment account, right? But I don't spend, it's my challenge to myself, right? When I pay myself first, it's making sure that when the money comes in, the bulk of the money comes in, I commit to what I said I was going to do. I'm committing to $25 a week, right? I'm committing to 50. You don't have to put yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable, but you're saving as something that's reasonable and you're able to commit to, like Erica said, for the long haul. If you start with something small, $20, $30 a week, it will grow. It will grow, right? And it's easier to make that commitment when you first get the money, because now you'll have less of it to spend on the makeup or the clothing or the cups of coffee, because you're going to notice that, okay, account only has X amount of dollars in there. I'm going to automatically adjust to my expenses, right? But if you commit and you pay yourself first, that is my favorite method, Dave, and it's kind of what works for me. That's one.
I love that. The envelope budget method, right? So the envelope budget method is like one of the most popular ones from back in the day. A lot of people used to use that method. I don't know, I remember my grandmother as a kid using that method. I don't know if you guys do in your homes, but what it is you have an envelope for everything, right? So it's your rent, your mortgage, light bill, how much are you spending on that, and what does that look like for you? So if you have a grocery budget, the money goes into that envelope, right? If you have a going out bill, like out expense, you want to account for those things, right? So it's not just your bills. You can't just account for like using light and mortgage, and because you already know what those costs are. The part where I find most people are struggling right now is the day-to-day budget, right? The day-to-day budget is where people struggle because, you know, right now, if you had a budget, if you set a budget for 500 and your budget is now going over because you're still buying the same things, and like just mentioned, inflation is high, how do you adjust to that, right? So maybe you may have to bring that budget up a little bit and cut somewhere else. But if you don't know what those expenses are, you won't be able to do it. So the envelope method is really, it was very effective before because you used to use cash and you could just put your cash in each envelope and you kind of disperse all the money already. So now it's like, okay, some people find that that actually works better. So I know like it's like not many people carry cash anymore. That's not common. But some people that I know, they still carry cash, right? They still like to see their money, and they actually do these methods because what we have found in so many stats out there, that the debit card is like the death of budgets, right? Because you swipe, and you don't account for the change. And you may say, okay, it's $24, but in reality, it was like you're $23.80, but you didn't account for that 80 cents, right? So now those 80 cents, those 50 cents start to add up, and then you come back and you're like, wait, but I only spent, $100. No, you spend really $120 over the course of that time. So you want to keep that. If that works for you, by all means, go ahead, try it. If you want to be a little bit more conscious of what you're spending, it's definitely a method that people used to do. It worked. It may be something that people may want to go back to. It may work for you. Yeah, what method, those that are on the live, what method seems to work or resonate with you? Because again, not every method is for everyone. Like, cannot do certain methods because I have a family, right? Like, methods that to me are a little bit extreme at where I'm at in my life. But someone else, that may just be like they're trying to do, right? So if you guys could comment what method, a method that you feel like resonates with you, put it in the comments. We want to hear from you guys. Yeah, let me just make sure there's no questions. And I've used the envelope method thing. Starting small. Absolutely. Always start small. Like, so much just to start big. Start small. The smaller things will get you to the bigger prize. A lot of the small consistencies will get you to the bigger prize. This is one of the things we recently at AltoCredit with Qube Money. I wanted to talk about a little bit about Qube Money and why it's so effective. So, like I mentioned before, the envelope was the cash idea. It's such a cool idea, but it's hard because you're like, how do I implement that when I get ACH deposit and I don't carry cash and I need to carry a debit card? I just want to show you guys what it looks like. Let me see if I have mine, if I can find mine. Qube Money has partnered up with AltoCredit, and we've been able to establish a partnership. And what that means is they actually created an app that will allow you to create envelopes on an app that you can actually share if you're with a partner like myself or Amos, that like, why you spend so much at the supermarket? Why you spend so much at the supermarket? Well, this is a way for you to have a real-time budget of what's in that envelope, but it's digital. So what it'll do is it'll separate your expenses and it'll allow you to budget for each thing. So you're literally creating an envelope online. So you can create your Amazon budget for the month. You can create your budget for the month, your weekend getaway budget for the month. You can also create envelopes, digital envelopes, to share with your children or any other members of your household that you share some financial expenses with, different expenses in the house, and they have to come together and make that all make sense in the house. So if you're one of those people that are like discussing like, where did the money go? What happened here? What happened there? You can literally in real time see the envelope come down. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Qube Money is going to completely revolutionize like budgeting, right? It kind of everyone's responsibility or contribution to a successful household to one clear and transparent app so that you happening with the money, you can see what's going on. And to be able to segment each part of everyday living, all your expenses, on digital card, I think that's a game changer for sure.
Listen, I didn't believe it. I actually have my card. I don't know where I put it. I actually took it out for you guys, but the card literally is like any other debit card. You can attach it to your accounts. I'll actually do a tutorial of setting up an envelope on the AltoCredit app. We'll have one out there for you guys to see.
So in it, I would 100% say try it out. We can send you the link to give it a shot. All right. It's something that
have our clients, if you are really interested in getting the Qube Money, we do give our clients a 2-month for free. It's really affordable. I think it's like after the 2 months, but if you guys want to just try it out for the first 2 months, I can DM you the link. So DM me after this and I will send you the AltoCredit link that we give to our clients. A partnership is recent, but I think it's really cool. Another thing that they allow you to do on the app is they allow you to set up goals. So if your goal is to pay down a credit card, right? If you say, I want to pay, I don't know, $1,000 to this credit card by March. Well, they allow you to set up those goals and share it with your partner. If you don't want to share it with your partner, you don't have to. I know some people are very like with their finances, but they may want to share like the grocery budget, or they may want to share school. Like London, she has a budget and allowance for the week. So hey, this is where we can see how much you've spent. Really good. What it does is, one thing that all the budgeting apps and methods have out there is writing everything down. If you do not write things down, whether you do it digitally or you write it by pen, like people that are still notebook people, I'm definitely a notebook person too. You are writing things down, you will see. The Qube Money, if you have like the person that wrote about the makeup, right? If you know that that's something that you do every month, give yourself a budget. But the thing is, once you get below that point with the envelope, it'll tell you like, I have no money left. Like, give yourself a budget of $50 and you already spent the $50. It's gonna say, well, we can't process this payment because you have to take money from somewhere else to put it in this makeup thing that is super important to you. Is it that important?
Yeah.
So, this helps. I really like the envelope method. Something that people used to use in the past, and I think it's very, very effective. It starts with the small and goes with the big. What are some challenges that you feel you have?
Challenge is I think increasing it, right? And I know and anyone who's watching, we are going to be next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, we will be our first brunch seminar. I would love to invite you guys. I would love for you guys to come there. We're also going to be starting a saving challenge at that time. Yes. We're going to be using the envelope method, right? To put some money away. Now statistically, it says most Americans do not have $1,000 saved up for emergency funds. So we're going to do a $1,000 challenge. So we will have envelopes. You guys can purchase your booklets. And then every week when we have calls, we'll be saving something incrementally into that envelope until we all are able to save $1,000 together. All right. So I want to definitely invite you guys. As really spearheading that. It's going to look excellent. She's being super creative with it. Just trying to see how it's going to look. But I think that is a solution to one of my bigger challenges, is being consistent and making things fun. Okay. I can be on time with my budget, paying myself first, and making sure that savings is growing and that emergency backing. What about you? Yeah. What's your
what did you say?
What about you? What's your favorite method?
I really like the envelope method because I have that problem. Like I really have that problem where I go to the store and I think I still have money. Like I'm ready to like buy at Target. Like Target be having all my money, but you have to remember. But it's good if I'm conscious, I'm aware. Like hey, I already spent this much money this month on this specific category. Like to relax, no more Target runs. Guys, we want to do you're great. We will have another live one on Instagram next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It will be with Hector Zarita. I know I tagged his videos on my personal page. I'll tag his video here. He's gonna go over credit card rewards. We were able to get him as a guest. So guys, you will be here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. and we will announce next week's lineup. We're going to consistently do these with different topics. If you guys have any questions or would like that 2-month free with Qube Money and download the app, send me your link, send me a DM letting me know you want the link, and I'll send you the one with the 2 months for free so you guys can try it out first before you invest in it. Okay? Look forward in with you guys again, my AltoCredit familia. Thank you guys for joining us.
Everybody.
Bye, guys.